The courtroom was in deadly silence, broken only by the flickering sound of the fluorescent lights above, casting a harsh, cold glow on Harper Calloway's face. She sat in the defendant's chair, her gaze fixed, but her mind was elsewhere. The evidence against her was irrefutable. The security cameras had captured her image at the crime scene, at the exact moment. The murder weapon bore her fingerprints. A witness swore to have seen her near Brandon Miller's apartment on the night he was killed. But something inside Harper told her that this could not be the truth. "Why is this happening?" she thought, feeling the weight of the accusations, but at the same time, a growing sense that something else, something bigger, was in motion. Then, without warning, a sharp bark echoed through the room, intensifying the tension. Everyone turned. Rex, Harper's loyal dog, was being dragged out of the courtroom, but he refused to leave, his eyes fixed on her with an unsettling intensity. He was saying something. Harper felt her heart tighten. He knew what no one else knew, but what was he trying to show? The prosecutor continued with his accusations, but for Harper, what mattered wasn't what was being said, but what Rex was trying to say. He knew the truth that no one else knew. And what if she was being framed for something she didn't do? That doubt grew with every passing second. Grayson Hayes, her former colleague, was in the audience. His eyes were fixed on her, but something was wrong. He knew she wasn't guilty, but what could he do? He was trapped too. Grayson's eyes locked on hers, but he no longer believed the evidence. Something was wrong, and he knew it. The story was about to change. After the trial, Rex was transferred to another unit, but his behavior began to decline rapidly. The dog who had always been disciplined now wouldn't eat, didn't respond to commands, and spent hours waiting, his eyes fixed on the door. But who was he waiting for? Harper, or something much bigger? Grayson couldn't ignore it anymore. He knew he had to act. So he adopted Rex, but the dog's behavior only worsened. He wouldn't adjust to the new environment. Nothing worked. Until one night, while Grayson tried to sleep, the sound of a low growl from Rex cut through the stillness of the night. Grayson woke up startled. He grabbed his gun and rushed to the living room. When he arrived, Rex was motionless, his eyes locked on the door. Nothing was out of place. But the dog wasn't just alert. He was waiting for something, as if he knew something was about to happen. Grayson had no idea what was going on, but he knew he couldn't ignore it. "What do you know, Rex?" Grayson whispered as the dog kept its eyes locked on the door. Then suddenly Rex jumped, pulling the leash with an unexpected force, leading Grayson as if he knew the way. The dog, without hesitation, led him to a dark alley near the crime scene. Grayson froze. It couldn't be a coincidence. Rex, without stopping, began digging frantically at the ground. And it was then that Grayson found something. It wasn't just dirt. It was a piece of material that seemed like human skin. Grayson shuddered. "This can't be. It's impossible." A wave of dread washed over him. Someone was framing Harper, and this wasn't an accident. It was a perfect setup. The discovery of the biopolymer was a shock. It was advanced technology, something far more dangerous than he realized. Someone was using technology to create a replica of Harper at the crime scene. The camera had recorded her image, but there was no way she was there. Everything was set up, a meticulously planned frame job. And there was more. Another murder happened, with details so similar to Brandon Miller's that Grayson couldn't ignore the signs anymore. Something much bigger was happening, and he was about to find out what was really behind it. And then, the symbol. The symbol found at the crime scenes wasn't random. It was a mark, a signature, a warning. But from whom? Grayson, now convinced there was something more, found a new ally, Ethan Carter, the investigative journalist. The pieces began to fall into place. Black Widow, the secret criminal organization, was behind it all. And Grayson knew this was not just about Harper. It was much bigger. But there was something even more dangerous. Someone inside the police was involved. The symbol was the clue that no one else had noticed, but that Grayson couldn't ignore anymore. "Grayson," Ethan said in a whisper, "this symbol isn't just a signature. It's a code that Black Widow uses to mark their victims." Grayson felt a wave of terror rise in his spine. If he didn't find out who was behind this, Harper would just be a pawn in the game of a much bigger conspiracy.